Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that has been sending shockwaves through the sports and business worlds. We're talking about headlines that use words like scam and banned, and it's all connected to a billion-dollar lawsuit. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? So what's really going on? Is LeBron James actually in trouble? Is his legacy on the line? We're going to break down all the facts, separate the truth from the clickbait, and give you the real story behind this massive lawsuit. Forget the sensational headlines for a minute. Let's get into the details of what this case is actually about, who is involved, and what it could mean for everyone, including LeBron. Stick around, because this is a story you'll want to understand from all angles. All right, let's start from the beginning. The core of this controversy revolves around a lawsuit filed by a man named Billy Hunter. Now, if you're a longtime basketball fan, that name might ring a bell. Billy Hunter was the former executive director of the National Basketball Players Association, or the NBPA. That's the union that represents all the players in the league. He held that position for many years, from 1996 until he was ousted in 2013. The lawsuit itself is a massive one, seeking a staggering $1 billion in damages. But who is he suing? Hunter is suing LeBron James, his business partner Maverick Carter, the world-famous rapper Drake, and their media company Spring Hill. He's also suing the NBPA and its current executive director Tamika Tremaglio. The lawsuit claims that they all went behind his back to steal the rights to a documentary about the historic 2011 NBA lockout. Hunter alleges that he held the exclusive rights to produce a film about this period. For those who might not remember, the 2011 lockout was a huge deal. The league and the players were at a standstill over the collective bargaining agreement, leading to a shortened season. It was a period of intense negotiations, drama, and high stakes. Hunter claims that he was the one with the legal authority to tell that story on film, and he believes LeBron and his team illegally took that opportunity from him. So, let's unpack that claim. According to Hunter's legal team, he had a deal in place. He claims he was developing this documentary, and he had the rights to do so because of his position at the time. The lawsuit suggests that LeBron, Drake, and their partners knew about Hunter's project and deliberately cut him out, essentially stealing his intellectual property to create their own version. This brings us to the documentary that actually got made. The documentary at the center of this legal battle is called Black Ice. It explores the history of black players in hockey, from the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes in the 1800s to the modern-day NHL. It's a powerful story about race, sports, and perseverance. LeBron James and Maverick Carter's Spring Hill Company, along with Drake's Dream Crew Entertainment, were the executive producers. The film premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival and has received quite a bit of attention. So, how does a documentary about hockey connect to a lawsuit about a basketball lockout? This is where it gets a bit complex. Hunter's lawsuit isn't actually about the content of Black Ice. Instead, it's about the deal behind it. Hunter's legal argument is that the defendants used the deal for Black Ice as a way to improperly acquire the rights to his story, the story of the NBA lockout. Essentially, Hunter is arguing that LeBron and Drake's teams made a deal with a Canadian book author to get the rights for the Black Ice. But he claims this was all a maneuver to undermine his own documentary project about basketball. He is alleging a breach of contract and interference with his business. The billion-dollar figure comes from the potential earnings he believes he lost because his lockout documentary was never made. He's arguing that the story of the 2011 lockout, told from his perspective, would have been incredibly valuable, and that value was stolen from him. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, those explosive headlines claiming LeBron is banned forever. Where does that come from? Honestly, it's pure speculation and clickbait. There is absolutely nothing in the actual lawsuit or in any official statement from the NBA that suggests LeBron James is facing a ban from the league. A lawsuit is a civil matter, not a criminal one. It's about money and contracts, not about his eligibility to play basketball. The NBA has its own conduct policies, but this lawsuit is between private individuals and companies. It doesn't involve the league's front office directly in a way that would trigger a suspension or a ban. For LeBron to be banned, he would have had to violate a major league rule, like the anti-gambling policy or something related to performance-enhancing substances. A business dispute, even a billion-dollar one, simply doesn't fall into that category. So, let us be crystal clear. The idea that LeBron James is being banned from the NBA because of this is completely false. It's a way to grab your attention, but it's not based in reality. So, what does LeBron's team have to say about all this? As you can imagine, they are not taking these allegations lightly. LeBron James's attorney, Howard Shire, has come out with a very strong statement. He called the lawsuit frivolous and meritless. He described it as a desperate attempt to grab headlines and essentially accused Billy Hunter of trying to cash in on LeBron's and Drake's fame. The legal team's position is that this lawsuit has no legal basis. They state that the documentary Black Ice was about a book of the same name and had nothing to do with Billy Hunter or any NBA lockout story. In their words, Hunter's claims are factually baseless. They are portraying this as a publicity stunt, a way for Hunter to try and get a payout by associating himself with some of the biggest names in entertainment. They've made it clear they are ready to fight this in court. The tone of their response suggests they are confident that the case will be dismissed. They believe Hunter has no standing and that his claims are a complete fabrication. This strong denial is important because it sets the stage for a long and potentially messy legal battle. It's not a situation where they are looking to quietly settle. They are publicly and forcefully denying every single one of Hunter's claims. Now, it's also worth looking at the history here, because this isn't the first time Billy Hunter has been involved in a major controversy. Back in 2013, he was voted out of his position as the head of the Players' Union. The vote was unanimous. This happened after an internal investigation raised serious questions about his leadership, including allegations of nepotism and misuse of union funds. At the time, Derek Fisher, who was the union president, said that the players felt a change in leadership was needed. So Hunter's exit from the NBPA was not on good terms. He later filed a wrongful termination lawsuit against the union and Derek Fisher, which was eventually settled. This history is relevant because it provides context. Opposing counsel will likely bring up this past turmoil to question Hunter's credibility and motives. They might argue that this new lawsuit is part of a pattern of lashing out after losing his powerful position. This context doesn't automatically mean his current lawsuit has no merit, but it is a significant part of the backstory that will undoubtedly be discussed in court and in the media. It shows that there's a history of conflict between Hunter and the Players Association, which is now one of the defendants in this new massive lawsuit alongside LeBron and Drake. So what happens next? Well, this is just the beginning. The lawsuit has been filed and now the legal gears will start turning. LeBron's and Drake's legal teams will file motions to have the case dismissed, arguing that it lacks legal merit. The judge will then have to decide whether the case can proceed or if it should be thrown out. If it does proceed, we'll enter the discovery phase, where both sides exchange information and evidence. This process can take months or even years. It's highly unlikely that this will go to a full trial anytime soon. Cases of this magnitude often end in a settlement long before they reach a courtroom, to avoid the cost, time, and public spectacle of a trial. However, given the strong denial from LeBron's camp, they might be determined to fight it all the way to prove a point. For LeBron James, the biggest impact right now is on his reputation. Even if the lawsuit is completely baseless, headlines like these can tarnish a public image. He has built a massive business empire and a brand centered around empowerment and integrity. A lawsuit accusing him of unethical business practices is a direct challenge to that brand. That's likely why his team's response was so immediate and so forceful. They need to control the narrative and reassure partners, sponsors, and fans that these claims are false. Ultimately, we have to wait and see how the legal system handles this. It's a classic he said, she said situation, but with $1 billion and some of the world's biggest celebrities caught in the middle. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops, and we'll bring you any major updates. Thanks so much for tuning in to get the full story. It's easy to get caught up in sensational headlines, but the truth is usually a lot more nuanced. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the stories that matter. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.